It's Tuesday, October 3. In the headlines, Ocherius primary school students sold ganja-laced sweets. In business news, Jamaica's economy grew by 2.3% second quarter. Regionally, UN authorizes Haiti security mission to fight gangs. Internationally, FTX founder goes on trial in New York. And in sports, Windies women cricket. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Several students from Ocherius Primary School are still being treated at St. Anne's Bay Hospital after consuming sweets laced with tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, a compound found in marijuana. On Monday, the hospital was a scene of chaos as a school bus pulled up with more than 60 sick children. The school's principal, Suzette Barnes Wilson, says the children got sick after consuming the sweet, which they reportedly purchased from a vendor who is not known or connected to the school. The male vendor is being asked to report to the police, and anyone with information that can assist with identifying him or his whereabouts is being asked to call the St. Anne Police or any of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's confidential lines. Dr. Kassan Troop is now the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education and Youth. Dr. Troop, who previously served as acting chief education officer, replaces Maureen Dwyer, who will revert to her post as chief inspector in the National Education Inspectorate. Mrs. Dwyer had been assigned acting permanent secretary in October 2021 after Dr. Grace McLean, who acted in the position since February 2019, was interdicted as a result of the findings of a report from the Auditor General. Education Minister Favour Williams has hailed Dr. Troop as a highly skilled educator with expertise in transformational leadership, educational policy, implementation, and youth advocacy. Head of the Cyber Incident Response Team, JCERT, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling, says Jamaica continues to face challenges in cybersecurity. He says while legislation and systems have been established, changes in technology result in evolved cyber attacks.
These include website defacement, compromised email account, both business and private email accounts, vulnerable devices and systems, ransomware attacks, data leaks, cryptojacking. And this is particularly important as we seek to move towards greater use of digital currencies, not the least of which is our own CBDC.
He says cryptojacking is being taken seriously. The JCERT head says there were over 25,000 cyber attacks originating from Jamaica in the first quarter of the year. He says when Jamaica is the destination, it's a different case.
For Q2, this is down to just over 8,000.
According to Lieutenant Colonel Sterling, individuals and companies have a responsibility to implement measures and hardware to protect their systems from cyber attacks.
If we look quarter on quarter for the first 3 quarters of 2023, there has been very little change where the number of devices has literally hovered around the 50,000 mark. As far as exploited vulnerabilities, quarter on quarter, we have seen an increase of these vulnerabilities. But the problem with these vulnerabilities that are being exploited is that they're not new vulnerabilities. Some of them are as old as 2014, which means that persons have machines and other devices out there that are not being patched. The problem this creates is that it leaves your devices and sometimes your network, some of these are corporate networks, open to attacks that are not new. And they're very difficult to protect against if you do not take the simple step of managing the patching of your devices, managing how you update, upgrade, and replace your devices to ensure that you have devices that are fairly secure.
He says cybersecurity should be seen as a plank in driving economic growth and Development. Members of the Senate paid tribute to the late Danver's Danny Williams on Friday. The former businessman, philanthropist, senator, and cabinet minister passed away at the age of 89 recently. Deputy President of the Senate, Charles Sinclair, described Mr. Williams as a true nation builder, noting that his humility and unwavering devotion to Jamaica will always be remembered. Leader of opposition business in the Senate, Peter Bunting, said the visionary leader distinguished himself through his philanthropy and mentorship. Government Senator Don Webby said Mr. Williams dedicated his life to making Jamaica a better place. How long has it been since you got a checkup at the doctor's office? How often should you do so? We caught up with Dr. Nagenda Babu Shandru as he volunteered in a free medical camp in Woodford, St. Andrew. The event, hosted by the Indian High Commission in Jamaica, was in recognition of the 155th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi.
Everything we're doing here is a free, and we are giving a free medications. When they get checkup, when they need a medication, with the support of our pharmaceutical companies, we're getting the free medications and we are dispensing them for free of cost. And we also doing the free other test, which is like eye checkups, not in this camp, but many other camps. We have done the eye checkups and we have given the glasses. We have done the dental checkup. We have given some process of cleaning to them. The patient just came and they checked the sugar, and it is 28.5 millimoles. That is very, very high. So patient doesn't know. So you see that today we got to identify the one patient. So maybe we can't help 100 one at the same time, but the one out of many, as you said, this one person is benefiting from this, and from that we are saving a lot. So not only this, but I just want to share the one previous experience what we have done in the previous medical camps. Yes, same thing like this. One person came with the high blood pressure, and his pressure was so high, and he doesn't know anything. He's a man, hard worker, and he's about to the bush every day. And he came to the health camp, and just we identified that he having some problem with the high blood pressure. And when we did the ECG, at that same time, we identified that he having some heart issues. And we have to take the patients and we have to send it to the emergency department on the same day. And he got better after that. That is a good testimony from our side. So we used to do the ECG and the heart test, but that is way that we are identifying, because most people, they don't check until they got a problem. But prevention is better than a cure. That's what we're trying to do. So we just trying to identify who have a sugar, who have like a blood pressure, we have a high cholesterol and those things, and we just identifying and just we're giving them the best treatment. Everybody who are hypertensive, we must do the ECG every 6 months. That is mainly recommended. And we do the blood tests every 6 months. Not only hypertensive, like diabetic, any other like chronic medical conditions is there, we have to check. But we have, since after the COVID, a lot of people having the heart issues. If you look at the statistics, most even young people are dying because of the heart issues. But it doesn't relate it with your age, because it is related with your diet, what you're eating and what is the lifestyle changes. So apparently that when we're doing ECG, as we are identifying some changes is there, automatically we are recommending to further test, like a echocardiogram and further test. But initially, as a primary care doctor, as like a health center doctors or somebody, we are the one first identifying the people who are having this problem. So that's why we're taking time and we're doing this test and we are identifying and we're sending to the people.
Time now for the business report with Danita Rodney.
Jamaica's economy grew by 2.3% during the second quarter of this year. According to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica's dating, real value-added result for April to June was mainly due to a 2.2% increase in output for the services industry. The quarter's performance also exceeds the initial GDP projections given by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, which was estimated to be 1.5%. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Monday, October 2, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.43. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $115.18. The pound sterling traded for $188.44, and the euro sold for $168.09. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by over 2,970 points. The junior market index declined by over 51 points. The combined market index declined by over 3,243 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by over 3,568 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 105 stocks, of which 30 advanced, 67 declined, and 8 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, and Berger Paints Jamaica Limited. Stocks declined for Access Financial Services Limited, Baruta Investments Limited, and Blue Power Group Limited. Trading firm were Carreras Limited, G-Ross Corporation Limited Ordinary Shares, and JMNB Group Limited 7.25%. The overall volume leaders were One Great Studio Company Limited, Mailpack Group Limited, and Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares, all with over 3 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, Calypso Macro Index Fund posted a volume of 250 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, 0 securities traded. In regional business, in Trinidad and Tobago, the local retail sector is growing with the launch of Chinese locals retail and variety store, Miniso Group Holding Limited.
Global value retailer Miniso Group Holdings Limited is one of the newest additions to the local retail landscape. Franchisor First Retail Group is partnering with a Chinese firm. Group Marketing Manager Gervais Datu explains the rationale behind this latest connection.
So we're looking for expansion for our international brands. As you know, First Retail Group, we are the number one in bringing global international brands to Trinidad. We want that shopping experience. We want Trinidad to experience that international feel, look. When you come into our stores, that's what we're about.
Miniso's country manager Nachu says the brand intends to fully service the local market.
We also have very professional group of merchandise, who is responsible for investigating the products and also designing and also communicating with the factories. So we have a very professional and a very hardworking team in China.
Ms. Chu notes the company is already in the Caribbean with stores in the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas, as well as in the Latin American region. Mr. Datu believes Miniso will have an impact on the Trinidad and Tobago market.
The price points alone, that is something that our customers will fully enjoy. It is a low price point brand. Apparently now people are looking for low priced items and things that they use in every day, and I think that this is perfect.
Why did First Retail recommend that the first Miniso store be opened in South Trinidad?
Gulf City has proven to be a mall that is very accessible to the wider South audience. South is a big part of our customer base.
Already, there are plans for expansion.
Arima States is coming soon. Not Arima, but East Side, we're coming soon to you. We will be located in Trinity Mall before the end of the year.
In the future, we maybe also want to enter in West Mall and also many other shopping malls. So we want to bring more beautiful and joyful products to all the Trinidad and Tobago people.
In international business, Wall Street ended nearly flat, with utilities falling sharply and investors weighing the likelihood the Federal Reserve will need to hold interest rates higher for longer.
The Dow dipped about 0.2%, the S&P 500 was flat, and the Nasdaq gained nearly 0.7. In remarks on Monday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell stressed the central bank's focus on price stability, but did not comment on his near-term outlook on rates. However, Fed Governor Michelle Bowman said she remains willing to support another rate hike if upcoming data shows progress on inflation is stalling. But riskier than another hike is the prospect of rates staying higher for longer, says Gitu Sharma, founder and investment manager of Alpha's Future.
From a market standpoint, especially in equities, it does seem that markets are not yet fully pricing this tabletop mountain effect that rates are going to stay higher for longer. And of course, if we see any weakness in economic data, it's that may not happen. But right now, as we stand, it does not look like there is any slowdown or any material slowdown in the U.S. economy. That any signs of a upcoming recession. And so I think the biggest risk is that rates stay high. And in fact, I think the even bigger risk is that inflation starts to rise again.
Economic data on Monday showed U.S. construction spending increased in August. The monthly jobs report is due on Friday. In company news, shares of NVIDIA gained about 3% after Goldman Sachs added the chipmaker's stock to its conviction list. And Tesla shares reversed course to end up about 0.5% after dropping nearly 3% earlier, following news the electric vehicle maker missed market estimates for third quarter deliveries.
In market data for oil prices stabilized after falling to a 3-week low in the previous session on a stronger US dollar, a darkening global macroeconomic outlook, and mixed supply signals. Brent futures crept up 2 cents to $90.73 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude edged 12 cents higher to $88.94. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, the United Nations Security Council on Monday authorized the Foreign Security Mission to Haiti, a year after the Caribbean country asked for help to fight violent gangs that have largely overrun its capital, Port-au-Prince. The 15-member council also expanded a UN arms embargo to include all gangs. The embargo previously only applied to designated individuals. Guyana's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York, Carolyn Rodriguez-Brickett, spoke at the Security Council meeting expressing the country's support on Monday.
I take this opportunity to express Guyana's unwavering solidarity with the Haitian people, our Caribbean brothers and sisters, and our steadfast commitment to working with the international community in providing much-needed assistance to the Haitian National Police. We fully support Haiti's request for the deployment of a multinational force and applaud the member states that have already extended support to Haiti and those that have pledged to support the multinational security support mission by contributing both human and financial resources. For its part, Guyana is in the process of organizing humanitarian aid in the form of food and medicine, even as we contemplate other forms of assistance and support now that this resolution has been passed.
This week, the Belize-Guatemala territorial dispute was raised 3 times during the 78th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations, in light of a recent encounter between a group of Belizeans and the Guatemalan armed forces on Sartún River. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
On September 10th, the Belize Territorial Volunteers organized an excursion to Sartún Island for a flag-raising ceremony. The uninhabited island is at the center of a territorial dispute between Belize and Guatemala, and, as we reported, the tour was met with aggression from Guatemala's armed forces. 3 Belizean flags were removed from the island by the Guatemalan soldiers.
Guatemalans, they have removed 3 of our flags. We are waiting for them to come for this one. They'll have to remove 3 of us.
The Belize-Guatemala territorial dispute took center stage during the general debate at the 78th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations. On Saturday, Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney addressed the general debate and highlighted the continued illegal incursions by Guatemalans on Belizean territory.
As Belize and Guatemala continue to pursue the peaceful, just and final resolution of Guatemala's claim to Belizean territory before the International Court of Justice, illegal incursions by Guatemalans continue. Recently, Guatemalan military forces illegally entered Belizean waters and unlawfully removed Belizean flags placed on Belizean soil. Deforestation, cattle ranching, and cultivation of illegal drugs by Guatemalans continue in remote and protected areas of Belize. These activities are contrary to international law and good neighborliness.
Mario Busano, Guatemala's foreign minister, exercised the first right of reply to respond to Foreign Minister Courtney on the matter. He asserted that Guatemala has been the victim of radical social independentist Belizean groups.
Guatemala has systematically been the victim of radical, social, independentist Belizean groups, who year upon year attempt to provoke instability in the Rio Sarstoon River zone, thus violating the territorial integrity and sovereignty of our country. Throughout our history, we have borne witness to the deaths of fellow Guatemalans who have perished at the hands of Belizean armed forces, but there has never been an issue despite the systematic provocations of these groups who claim that Guatemalan soldiers have violated the human rights of their Belizean brothers or disrupted peace.
Today, the founder of Belize Territorial Volunteers, Will Mejia, was back out on the river. Videos from the patrol shows Mejia engaged in a verbal exchange with members of the Guatemalan armed forces over whose territory they were in.
Tú estás en territorio Belice.
No, si ustedes quieren entrar a territorio guatemalteco, vayan a la capitanía. Presentes y cumplen con los procedimientos establecidos por Guatemala. Mientras tanto, no pueden estar aquí en Guatemala.
Este es territorio Belice.
Territorio beliceño. No hablen hablando de babosadas que no es. Cumplan con la ley guatemalteca.
Cumple con la ley de Belice.
La capitanía más cercana de Guatemala y cumplan con los procedimientos establecidos. Mientras tanto, tienen que retirarse de Guatemala.
Tú no puedes estar en Belice con armas.
No estamos en Belice.
It is worth noting that while the debate rages on global stages, the Sarstoon Forward operating base is still without permanent presence from the Belize Defense Force. On the other hand, Guatemala's armed forces appears to maintain a permanent presence on the river. On Tuesday, Carlos Fuller, Belize's permanent representative to the United Nations, exercised Belize's right of reply at the UN's General Assembly to respond to the accusations levied by Guatemala's Foreign Minister, Bosano.
The assertion made in the Guatemalan statement regarding deaths of Guatemalan at the hands of Belize's armed forces is completely baseless and false. The truth is, as confirmed by OAS verification reports, that Guatemalans on a daily basis encroach on Belizean territory, deforesting our protected areas, cultivating illegal drugs, poaching endangered species, and looting Mayan artifacts. These activities are contrary to international law and good neighborliness. Belize repeats its call for Guatemala and Belize, under the aegis of the Organization of American States, to urgently engage in constructive discussions to agree a protocol to promote confidence and good neighborly relations in the Sarstoon River area.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
In Trinidad and Tobago, public servants will be receiving back pay from the government this Christmas. The payout to public servants is among the fiscal measures announced by Finance Minister Colm Imbert. He has mandated all ministries to ensure that the back pay is paid by Christmas of 2023.
We have provided $1 billion in back pay for those 37,000 public sector workers who have accepted our offer of a 4% increase.
An increase in the minimum wage will also come into effect from January 1st, 2024. The Finance Minister says this will increase the monthly take-home pay by some $500 to $900 per month.
We will increase on January the 1st, 2024, as I said before, the minimum wage by 17% or $3 per hour, from $17.50 an hour to $20.50 an hour, which will help almost 200,000 workers at this level.
In international news, prosecutors have described it as one of the largest fraud cases in the United States history. 31-year-old Sam Bankman-Fried heads to trial in New York Tuesday. He's accused of misusing money made from his cryptocurrency exchange FTX, ultimately leading to its collapse and the loss of billions of dollars of investors' money. Here's more in this report.
FTX is a global cryptocurrency exchange.
This is Sam Bankman-Fried testifying before Congress in December 2021.
We are processing about $15 billion per day of trading volume.
By then, he had vaulted to celebrity entrepreneur status as the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX.
What's up, guys? I'm here with my boy Sam.
With the help of celebrities and expensive ad campaigns,
FTX is the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto.
He promoted crypto's money-making potential to the public.
You getting into crypto?
As safe,
FTX?
And secure.
With FTX, I buy, sell, and trade crypto safely.
Bankman-Fried became a billionaire and the face of the industry.
Him and his colleagues had also made a big impression in political circles, mainly in Washington, by throwing around millions of dollars in donations and talking a big game about their plans to do good with charitable donations and whatnot.
But then it all began to unravel. Prosecutors allege he illegally used money from FTX to cover losses at another company he started, a hedge fund called Alameda Research, to donate tens of millions of dollars to politicians and to buy real estate in the Bahamas, where he was arrested last year. Then, when questions about the company's financials spurred a wave of investor withdrawals, FTX collapsed. Its name has since been removed from this Miami sports arena, and both companies have since filed for bankruptcy, losing an estimated $8.9 billion in customer funds. Sam Bankman-Fried has been waiting for his day in court here in a New York prison cell, a far cry from the Bahamas resort where he was living prior to his arrest. The judge in the case revoked his $250 million bail and his permission to live with his parents in the run-up to the trial, saying that Bankman-Fried had attempted to intimidate a witness, his former girlfriend, who also happens to be the former CEO of Alameda.
Hi, can you guys say some words at the microphone?
While his parents, both lawyers, have stood behind Bankman-Fried, the former girlfriend and 3 former FTX executives have pleaded guilty. 3 are reportedly cooperating with prosecutors. Bankman-Fried has said repeatedly that he didn't intend to commit fraud. To convict him, prosecutors will have to convince the jury that he knowingly misled his customers. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New York.
In sports, heroic Haley is the only way one can describe the West Indies women's captain, as she pulled off a scintillating record-breaking performance in the second T20 International against Australia.
On the heels of her 99 not out in the first T20 against Australia, Hayley Matthews has registered a century in the second match of the series in Sydney today. The home team posted a mammoth 212 for 6 from their 20 overs. Matthews continued to dominate with ball in hand, taking 3 for 36. The Windies women needed something special, and that they got. Captain Matthews brought up a second T20 century in 64 balls, smashing 24s and 5 sixes. The chase went down to the final over, and it was a bit nervy as Matthews fell in the 19th for 132. Those nerves were unwarranted as Chanel Henry and Sherman Campbell saw the Windies home, winning by 7 wickets with 1 ball remaining. The dependable Stephanie Taylor, who stood with Matthews for a 174-run partnership, supported with 59. Additionally, several records were broken today. Matthews registered the highest individual score in T20s for the West Indies women and received her 7th consecutive Player of the Match award. The 213-run chase was also the highest ever run chase in women's T20 international history, previously held by England. And a total of 425 runs were scored, making it the first ever women's T20 international with a match aggregate of 400+ runs. The series is now tied at 1 apiece, with the final match bowling off on Thursday at 4:05 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time. Sachin Ramsubag for TTT Sport.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.